Pete Pistone, Dustin Long here, MRN.com at the NASCAR Sprint Media Tour, day 4 here in Charlotte. And it came to a crescendo today. Dustin, has been speculated for about 2 weeks now. Brian France with the State of the Sport address. Significant changes to the chase.
Yeah, exactly. The chase will expand from 12 to 16 teams. A victory in the first 26 races all but guarantees a spot in the chase. Once you get into the chase, there will be three race rounds. Those will be called the Challenger, Contender, and Eliminator rounds, and that'll set up a 4-driver shootout at Homestead Miami Speedway for the championship. And one thing that's interesting about that is that there will not be bonus points for leading laps. As Brian France said, it's all about who finishes highest at Homestead wins the championship.
All right, so basically what we have here is you win, you're in. For me, that's a good part of this. Winning, more emphasis on winning. Then as you move on, you don't necessarily have to win, but if you win one of those segments, you move on to the next segment then in the chase.
Yeah, certainly it provides the emphasis on winning that Brian France talks about. I guess I would, some of the things that come to me, I kind of question the issue of winning and advancing to the next round, because if you win your opening race of the round, then essentially you could use the next 2 races as a test session for later in the chase and kind of coast, because it's not going to matter where you finish there. Now, I know the opposite point is you could have 2 bad races in that round and you win that 3rd race, that gets you into the next round, so it does save. So there are 2 sides on that.
All right, big picture here. This is the 4th time we've changed the chase in the last 10 years. Problem for the sport, integrity, credibility of the championship, how do you see that playing out?
Well, I guess the question is when are they going to get it right? And if this case, this is the right scenario, then good for NASCAR for making the changes that needed to be made. But if we come back in 2 years or 3 years and we're still making major changes, then what have we done, and has the sport really moved forward in that sense?
This checks all the boxes: winning, simplicity, makes the teams at the right time, just as they do now, by the way, probably elevates it, have to compete at a higher level.
The other big question is why? Why do you think NASCAR is making this change? They told us in the session there, fans were driving this. You and I hear from fans all the time. I have some telling me they like it, others telling me they don't like it.
Well, I think you have to agree with NASCAR. I don't think people are sitting watching the races going, boy, what a great points race, or what a great points day. I mean, it does come down to who wins the races, and that's what fans talk about. That's what gets people excited. That's why people talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr. When's he going to win a race? It's not when. The question isn't when is Dale Jr. going to finish 5th, or when's Dale Jr. going to climb into the top 10 of the points. It's when he's going to win a race. So it is about winning. NASCAR's addressed that. We'll see if it's enough and how the fan base feels about it.
Final point, the whole championship is going to boil down to one race now. That has a lot of exciting potential, but is that too much? Is it weighted too much now that you've got one race for 36 deciding your champion?
Oh, there's no doubt it's weighted too much, but I'll also say this. I kind of like the idea. It's different. It goes in a different direction. It's non-traditional for motorsports, and I understand that fans that'll be saying, like, look, you've got a whole season's worth of races. Are you saying that those don't count? Well, with putting the emphasis on winning, it still counts to some degree, but yeah, you get down to one race, anything can happen. And does that mean a flat tire causes, all that year's worth of work to go down the drain? But again, what if it was the same system and the system was this past year, and you had a blown tire? It still could cost you the championship. So there's still those issues, but certainly more on the line is going to be. I mean, I can't wait for Homestead, I'll tell you that.
Tony Stewart told me, I was complimenting him the other day about his big run a couple years ago in Miami, where he had to win the race, and he did. And he said, look, that was a team effort. He said, they got my car where I could do that, and they stepped up at the right time. This is a team sport, nonetheless, even though the driver wins the race. So it's going to force the teams to take more risk in the race. You're going to have to.
Conversation continues on Twitter at MRN Radio. Just use the hashtag AskMRN. You can ask us some questions, sound off, let us know what you feel, and keep it at MRN.com. Lots of news here from the media tour, and of course all season long from the world of NASCAR. He's Dustin Long. I'm Pete Pistone. Thanks for stopping by, MRN.com.